好啦，我哋翻嚟呢一集嘅神神秘秘，大家見到整個 setting 唔同晒嚇，因為我哋有新嘅 guest 嚇。咁之前我亦都預告過啦，咁我哋咧會有一個嘅介紹關於一個叫做 sex 嘅 training 啦咁樣。咁其實咧就係佢哋頭先糾正過我，不過我話不如咁都照出啦嚇，咁睇下咧真係其實我有啲或者好多人都會對呢一個 training 咧有啲嘅誤解嘅，咁真係咧即係解鈴還須繫鈴人啦，咁我哋真係要嗰個呢個 trainer 咧係好難請到佢㗎，我俾你聽。咁然之後咧請到佢嚟咧去做呢一個嘅介紹嘅，咁啊多歡迎啊 ！Thank you for coming, Douglas.
My pleasure.
OK. 然之後咧就係我個死黨朋友，又係叫 Yvonne 嘅 Yvonne Sim 啊，有啲朋友或者識佢係啊。咁但係佢我真係好多年嘅事咯，多謝佢今日兩肋插刀嚟幫手做呢個嘅翻譯嘅。咁我哋咧先去介紹下阿Douglas 啦嚇，咁 Douglas 係嚟自馬來西亞嘅，咁佢係一個導師嚟嘅，喺訓練呢個行業咧已經 How many years have been trained 嘅幾多年啊
？Now coming to like 16 years, I think.
而家差唔多16年啦，我諗。係
啊，差唔多16年嘅 training， 咁佢喺 training 界係一個非常之有經驗嘅導師嚟嘅。咁然之後咧就若干日子之前咧，咁阿 Yvonne 同我提過關於呢個。其實係啦，呢個 course 嘅正式嘅名係乜嘢咧
？What is the exact name or the formal name of this or official name of this training?
Well, for this particular training, we're calling it the sexuality training. I thought I heard you say sex earlier.
嗱，呢個其實係 sexuality 嘅訓練啦嚇。頭先咧我聽到你話 sex 喎。
係。
But I just want to draw a distinction between a sex training and a sexuality training.
咁我想去區分一下啦 ，sex training 同埋 sexuality training 嘅分別。
Okay.
You know, the idea of sex training is learning how to have sex and all of that.
即係 sex training 就係學習如何。
And I'm not sure if this part of Asia anyway is ready for that kind of detailed training.
即係如何去進行呢個性愛啦嚇，咁我亦都唔肯定亞洲呢一個地區咧係咪已經準備好探索到嗰一種嘅深度啦。
This training is more around sexuality and the whole broad spectrum around sex and sexuality. This topic is actually very big.
但係呢一個訓練咧就係講到 sexuality 啦。咁 sexuality 呢個字咧喺中文裏邊咧都已經有好多個唔同嘅翻譯啦。咁佢其實係好闊嘅一個範疇嚟嘅。
所以咧，其實咧，之前我同阿 Yvonne 咧都有即係私底下傾偈，咁佢介紹呢個 course 嗰陣時咧，都講過俾我聽。其實我喺節目之前嗰幾集都有介紹過關於呢個 course 嘅嘢嘅。咁我都有講過，唔係關於 sex 嘅呢樣嘢，係關於性別。即係我唔知我有冇演繹錯啦嚇。
I don't know whether I have interpreted wrongly, but when we first talked about it, she already said in the previous episodes or chapters that it is not only about sex.
It's about gender or being who you are.
Yeah. And it's also to talk about distinctions between the sex as in when you're born you're assigned a sex.
咁同時亦都提及到啦，就係譬如你一出世嘅時候，你係出世係某一個性別㗎嘛。
And then there is, so that's what we just call this for simply just the sex.
咁我哋就咁講話係嗰個性
sex of a
別啦
person.
一個人嘅性別。
Male, female.
男性或者係女性。
The third one, the intersex. The intersex is a new word.
而家仲有第三樣啦，就叫 intersex 啦。呢個係一個新嘅字嚟。
And that's someone born with two biological parts of male and female.
就係一個人出世嘅時候咧，就係雌雄兩性嘅性徵咧，都同時擁有嘅。
即係佢同時擁有兩個嘅器官都有嘅。
Meaning that person
owns
both organs.
Yes.
係。
Okay.
And then at birth, because of the way the world works, at birth the people decide, the parents decide and assign them either one biological sex, either male or female, and then the next step is the gender identity.
咁然後喺而家呢個世代嗰度咧，就係咁出咗世，佢兩個性徵都有啦。咁就父母去決定咯，到底佢係叫做男仔啊，定還是係女仔啦？
哦，父母決定係叫佢男仔女仔，唔係留低邊一個 organ 係咪啊
？So the parent assign
the organs.
The organs, so
yes,
they will
and then they do the
remove
surgery.
one.
Yeah.
係父母決定留低邊個器官，咁然後就做手術。
right away。
right away, which is a problem.
馬上呢個就係個問題啦。
Right, so they do the surgery and then they will bring up this kid either as a male or a female with the gender identity of male and female.
咁佢哋做咗個手術啦，然後就會將呢個細路仔當係一個男仔咁樣湊大，或者係一個女仔咁樣去湊大
Okay.
然後就出現咗呢個性別啦。到底我自己係邊個性別咧咁？
OK，所以呢個課程係關於呢一種 identity 呢種身份嘅一種
This training is
嘅。
about this identity.
That's one part of it, creating distinctions. Okay, like, so there is the gender identity, so creating distinctions, like,
其
okay,
中一部分啦，因為咁你性別嗰度都要作一啲嘅區分。
so you're born with the physical body of male,
生出嚟個身體係男性，
and then there's something called gender identity and expression.
咁又有另外一樣嘢喎，叫 gender identity 喎，同埋個 expression 喎，一種表達喎。
So someone can be male and have a gender identity of female.
一個人可以係男性身體，但係佢嗰個佢認為佢自己嘅身份係個女人嚟㗎。
係
And then they can also have, then there's another door called orientation.
又有另外一道門啊嚇
Okay.
打開另一道門就係講緊取向啦，
So sexual
Okay.
orientation.
係個性取向啦。
OK OK。
And then there's another door.
又另外一隻門，
天啊！
So you see, this whole subject matter of sexuality is really broad.
所以你都見到啦，一講到 sexuality 呢個題目
Okay.
其實好闊㗎。
所以咧，哇！如果佢哋唔講咧，你冇諗過原來一個人，即係成為一個人咧，原來有咁多嘅嘅選擇
choices
嚇，去成為佢自己啊！
to become themselves。
嚇咁好啦，咁我哋翻去少少嗰個我哋想知道呢個課程或者呢一個 training 嘅由來係啲乜嘢咧？點解會有呢個
I want to know a little bit about the origin of this training, where
Well,
it came from.
well, I learned it from some of my mentors, and when I was learning to be a trainer.
當我學習做導師嘅時候咧，咁我係從我一啲嘅師傅嗰度學到。
And the training came from the United States.
呢度訓練係嚟自美國嘅，
But what's interesting is if you study the history of sexuality,
但係好有趣嘅係，如果你去研究下 sexuality 呢樣嘢嘅歷史咧，
the art and the art and the joy and the full expression of sexuality, the origins of all of that actually came from the Eastern and native people.
呢一套藝術嘅嗰種喜悅咧，其實係嚟自東方嘅噃，
Ancient Chinese,
古代嘅
Ancient
中國人啦，古代印度啦，
ancient tribal,
同埋一啲嘅部落嘅人啦，
Native Americans,
仲有
印第安。
印第安人啦。
they have historically a fuller sense of full self-expression of sexuality.
喺歷史上嚟講咧，佢哋更加係可以表達到自己關於性方面嘅嘢嘅。
And then, of course, the Westerners came to invade the whole planet, and religion came in.
咁然後當然啦，西方人又侵略成個地球啦，然後宗教亦都出現埋。
OK。
So with the Western philosophy of Christianity and morals and all these different religions of the
西
same
方嘅
path,
宗教啦，譬如話基督教啊，有一啲道德上嘅嘢啊，
OK
咁啊出現咗一條唔同嘅路啦。
made this a conversation we can talk about.
咁就令到呢樣嘢變成咗大家都不能提及嘅事情，
大家咁即係好似
Exactly.
好似有啲禁忌咁，like a
世界事咁樣
taboo。
Right? It's a taboo. It's
係
become
一種
taboo.
佢變成咗一種禁忌。
So if you go
Okay.
if you go to Spain or you go to France and you go to some of these museums, sex museums.
所以你去西班牙啊，或者去法國啊，去一啲性嘅博物館啦。
啊哈。
Now when I say sex museum, some of you are going, sex museums? They're museum just for around sex? Yes!
而家我講到話 sex museum 個性博物館喎，有啲人就會話
And they're
啦
fabulous.
有啲咁樣嘅博物館咁樣係有
And you
啊，
can see the
而且好精彩㗎，你又可以見到個歷史咯
Of the the evolution of sexuality and the arts and the crafts and the
喎。sexuality 嘅
teaching
演化啦，佢有啲乜嘢嘅藝術嗰方面嘅嘢啦，
where fathers will teach their sons and mothers will teach their daughters.
同埋喺教育方面啦，嗱爸爸點樣去教個仔啦，媽媽點樣去教個
It's all
女
handed
啦，
down.
全部都係一代一代傳落嚟嘅。
你咁樣講咧，我又諗起一啲嘢。咁咧 呢即係我有 trade in 一啲塔羅牌㗎嘛，即係買喺意大利有啲塔羅牌訂翻嚟㗎嘛。
I order tarot cards in from Italy。
咁其實有一個系列嘅塔羅牌咧，就係一啲成人系列嘅。
Tarot cards, it's for adults。
嚇咁然之後我就同嗰個出版商就話。你啲塔羅牌
the publisher, I said,
有啲嘅即係 hesitation，有啲少少嘅。
I hesitated a little bit。
咁跟住嗰個人就俾咗我差唔多一個 sex 嘅 briefing 咁樣。
Person almost gave me a sex briefing。
咁就話俾我聽，原來性咧喺意大利或者係啲係一件好可以平時可以講嘅嘢嚟。
It's something that we talk about。Usually talk about。
係啊，咁所以其實我覺得即係俾我感覺到個 culture 就係 culture 呢樣嘢咁樣嘅 difference。
But what's interesting is yes. But what's interesting is if you go and look at the history of this。
但係有趣嘅係，如果你真係去睇下佢嘅歷史。
A history of the art of sex and sexuality and sexual expression。
性的藝術啊，或者係 sexuality， 或者係你點樣去表達啊咁樣。
The roots and the studies and the ancient stuff is from China and India and Asia。
嗰個根源啦，啲歷史啊嗰啲係嚟自中國啊、印度啊，係嚟自亞洲嘅喎。
Actually。
咁我都知道印度對於。
It's now it's a reverse。
而家就好似調翻轉咁樣。
其實我知道喺印度咧，佢對於性呢樣嘢係有一本印度聖經啊。
They have a sex book。
Yes, yes。
咁係都咁好多人都知道有呢本書嘅。
The Chinese have that too。
中國人都有㗎。
係咪《紅樓夢》啊
？But it's really ancient times. So a lot of it is destroyed。
係好耐之前㗎啦，不過就已經都摧毀咗㗎啦。
And then there are little。
She asked whether it is the story of the Red Chamber。
I don't know, but then there is。
我唔知係咪《紅樓夢》啦，我唔知。
You can actually see like bamboo sticks and cards and like little tiny tiles with tiny fine drawings。
係竹卷嚟嘅，係啲古竹嚟嘅，上邊好早
And it falls into open it up in a manuscript and you fold it up, it comes in a tiny little cube where fathers and mothers would pass down to their kids and explain and open up the tiles. Yes。
係啦，有啲又好似一隻牌咁樣㗎，咁當你收起佢嘅時候咧，佢就係一嚿咁樣嘅。咁然後父母就係一代咁傳落去俾啲仔女，咁然後就攞出嚟解釋。
Okay。
And then there's the Indians, of course, we all know about the Kama Sutra。
咁印度我哋當然知道 Kama Sutra 啦，印度嘅性愛大全啦。
係啦。咁 OK，咁所以咧呢個 course 咧其實咧就係其實係一啲人類好基本嘅一啲嘅知識。
Some basic human knowledge。
Yes。
係。
而只不過係失傳咗，或者係禁忌咗。
It's just that it's been lost somewhere or it became a taboo。
Taboo, hidden. The code word。
啦，或者隱藏咗啦。
The code word everyone uses well from my country and many parts of Asia that I've been, where I do all my trainings。
喺我嘅國家同埋喺亞洲好多我有做訓練嘅地方。
It's like a taboo。We say like taboo。
呢個字我哋就淨係話係禁忌。我哋唔提及嘅咁。
And we don't talk about it and it's private。
我哋唔提及嘅係啲好私人嘅嘢嚟㗎。
It's private, it's confidential。
係要保密嘅。
That's what we say。
我哋係咁講啦。
And then, but what's driving this？
但係啲乜嘢
？The bottom line。
去驅使到佢變咗咁啦嚇，個底線啦。
The conversation is it's dirty。
就係因為講緊佢係污穢啊嘛。
Okay, and once we see it's dirty, we don't want to talk about it, and then shame comes up。
我哋一睇成佢係污穢、污糟邋遢，咁我哋就唔想去提及佢啦。隨之而嚟嘅就係個羞恥啦，或者慚愧啦。
And become shameful about it。
咁啊覺得羞恥咯
喎。We don't talk about it。
又唔提咯
喎。We put it under the carpet。
將佢拱落地氈底咯喎。
And we just say, okay, it's private。
然後我哋就話係啲私人嘢嚟。
And where do people go to learn about stuff？
咁啲人去邊度學咧
？Pornography。
就係睇嗰啲四仔五仔啦。
Okay。
Right? So porn has not become a source of entertainment, it's become a source of education。
咁四仔五仔就變成咗唔係娛樂咯喎，就變成咗係去嗰度學喎。
In terms of websites, there are more websites around porn than there are any other websites。
其實如果你上網去睇嘅話咧，有大把嘅網頁啦，係關於呢啲四仔五仔嘅嘢嘅，多過晒其餘啲網頁㗎。
OK。即係比較啲淫慾啲嘅嘢。 係咪 porn
porn yes
係啦。
And we'll talk about porn too. We'll talk about the good news and the bad news of porn. And what everyone should know about porn.
我哋都會講到即係 porn 呢樣嘢嚇，四仔五仔 pornography 啦嚇，因為佢都有好嘢喺裏邊。
嚇，OK。
Okay, because there is some good news, there is some bad news, and a lot of it's actually bad news.
當中有好消息，亦有壞消息，而大部分係壞消息嚟啊。
And the thing is, because we do not know how to interact with it, we do not have the understanding like, okay, when I'm watching porn, I need to look at it as it's just entertainment.
而個事情係我哋唔知點樣去所謂面對佢啊！我哋去睇嘅時候，我哋唔識得將佢睇成誒，只不過係娛樂嚟嘅
It's an
啫，
outlet.
只不過係好似一個出氣口咁樣。
But the problem becomes not only addictions,
而嗰啲四仔五仔咧，而家變成咗唔單止係啲人上咗癮喎，
they see it as the truth.
佢仲要將佢睇成係個真相。
And then everyone compares themselves with what goes on in porn.
然後個個就將自己同嗰套片裏邊嗰啲人嘅嘢去比較
And everyone
喎。
feels like a loser.
然後個個都覺得自己好失敗，
Men feel like losers, women feel like losers.
男人又覺得自己好失敗，女人又覺得自己好失敗。
And we don't talk about it
然後我哋又唔提喎，
because it's private.
因為好私人嘅嘢嚟嘅咁。
So we can't have the distinction of knowing, okay, what is real and what is fantasy, what's made up.
我哋分唔到乜嘢係真，乜嘢係幻想，乜嘢係作出嚟嘅，
There are no distinctions because we don't talk about it.
全部分唔到，因為我哋根本唔去睇。
同埋一個問題咧，就關於嗰啲嘅嗰啲四仔五仔咧，
About these
我覺
X-rated
得
thing，
大部分係對女人嘅一個
feel
打壓嚟嘅，即係佢哋係好唔尊重女性，係大
most
部
of
分
them they're pressing women down. It's like it's
abusing women。
no respect for women.
Well, there's all kinds of porn these days.
今時今日各種各樣嘅
And now we need to talk
porn 都
about,
有啊。
then we need to go into that category, talk about what is a fetish.
fetish 啊，中文點譯咧？
You know, for example, someone feels like they're weird when they're like, oh, I like to have sex with socks on.
即係
哦，OK，即係有啲變態嘅。
係啦，我哋又要去，即係如果講到頭先呢樣咧，我哋又要去講另外一個話題，就係講到 fetish 啦。我都唔知點樣用中文點樣講。就係譬如話嗰個人，我中意
着住對襪
做愛嘅時候，我中意着住對襪。
係 OK。
You know, they have an
有啲
attachment.
癖好啊，癖好。
係啊。
Yeah. And then people think, oh my goodness, then the conversation of, oh my goodness, there must be something wrong with me, I must be a pervert,
咁裏邊
judgment
一
and shame.
定有啲對話咯喎，就講我自己一定有啲咩唔妥啊咁樣啦。
所以呢啲咁嘅三級四級片就創造咗好多歪曲嘅概念，係咪？
These kind of X-rated movies have created a lot of crooked or twisted ideas,
Concepts,
beliefs.
beliefs。
No.
Correct？
唔係
唔係，
哦 OK。
Those are people's fantasies made
嗰
into
啲
movies.
嗰啲只不過係啲人嘅幻想拍成電影啫。
唔係，佢創造咗好多人嘅思想上面嘅歪曲。
But it has created for a lot of people to think, like going towards a different direction or something
Twisted。
Well, you see, when you say the word twisted,
嗱，當你話扭曲啊，
it's like a judgment, it's twisted, something wrong.
就好似係一種嘅判斷，睇成佢係有啲嘢錯咗。
係咪我自己錯咗，又或者係要咁樣先至啱？即係對於嚟講，性係要咁樣先至啱，或者係咁樣先至係
Whether if
好咁樣。
is it am I wrong or whether if that is good or better?
Well, you see, that's the whole reason why we actually need to have the training.
係啦。
就係因為呢個原因，我哋需要有個訓練啦，
Bring this conversation on the table because the moralistic,
將成樣嘢擺上台
the
講啊，
shame,
因為又牽涉啲道德嘢
the
咯喎，
religionists,
又話羞恥咯喎，又有啲宗教人士咯噃，
things we sweep it under the carpet, we don't talk about it.
太多嘢掃咗落地氈底，我
And
哋唔
here's the
睇
other
啊。
problem that opens up.
然後
We
就
can
出現
open
咗
another door
另外一個問題啦。而家又開多隻門去睇，
The more we pretend it's not there,
我哋越扮到佢唔存在，
the more we see it's not affecting anybody else.
我哋就越睇成冇影響其他人啦
The。more we sweep it under the carpet and suppress this,
我哋越抑壓，越將佢掃落地氈底啦。
the more we're allowing the crime, if there is crime, the crime to be committed.
Yeah。
我哋就越容許咗，如果真係要有罪案嘅話，我哋越容許咗個 嗰啲人去犯案
因為呢樣嘢越吸引啊嘛。
，because it becomes more attractive。
Not in that sense.
又唔係
Yeah,
咁樣喎。
you could say that.
係啊，你可以咁
Or you
講。
also give permission for the
Because it's very
perpetrators.
exciting.
Or you give permission for the people who are doing harm to continue doing harm by saying it does not exist.
又或者咁講，你容許咗嗰啲去傷害人嘅人繼續去做呢件事，因為 because it's what？
So the
Because
crime
it's-
it's okay and it does not exist. The more I say
因為
deny
講
it.
因為啲人越去否定或者否認佢嘅時候，咁嗰啲壞人去做呢啲事，佢就會覺得
都唔冇人夠膽講。
no one is going to talk about it。
Yes.
係咯，
So for example, where I come from,
嗱，譬如話我嚟自嘅嗰個地
okay,
方嚇，
and because it's a Muslim majority country too,
因為大部分人係回教徒嚟嘅
okay,，they don't talk about the sex abuse, the child abuse,
唔會講到
the
性侵
rapes,
犯啊、
the
侵犯細路仔
the
啊、
children
強
who are getting
姦
pregnant,
啊，
baby dumping at 13 years old in the villages, and
或者係啲細路仔搞大咗個肚啊，13歲
Incest
就劈咗個細路啊，或者亂
fathers
倫
raping
啊
their，daughters.
譬如爸爸強姦個女啊，
all the inappropriate sexual behavior,
所有啲不恰當嘅性嘅
crime against children.
嘅行為啊，
對，
譬如話對細路仔所犯嘅呢啲根本係犯罪啊嘛，
It's all buried
全部埋藏晒，
because we don't talk about sex publicly. We don't talk about it,
因為唔會公開去提及性呢樣嘢啊嘛，
and we bury it.
於是咪埋咗佢咯。
We deny its existence. That is a problem. We deny it.
我哋直情係否認或者否定佢嘅存在。
Okay? Then it allows those people to continue doing it.
當咁樣嘅時候，
係啊
咪容許咗嗰啲人去
As soon-
做呢啲事咯。
As we open and put it on the table,
我哋一打開佢，擺上台
then
面
everybody
講，
knows this is what's going on, and people can start to say, this is not okay.
咁啲人就會開始知道原來發生緊啲咁嘅事，然後啲人就可以開始講話：喂，咁樣唔 OK 喎，
We need to do something about this.
我哋要做啲嘢至得喎。
But as so long as we don't talk about sex,
但係我哋一路都唔提性呢
there
樣
are no
嘢咧，
problems. There are no
大家就
problems.
當冇問
Everything's
題，
fine.
當樣樣嘢都掂晒。
個咧
We don't talk, we don't see all the other things.
我哋又唔講，其他啲嘢又唔睇到。
呢個令我諗起咧，好多時巴士嗰啲非禮咧，嗰啲地鐵非禮
I
咧，
suddenly think of the inappropriate touching or molestation on
In
a
a bus
bus
or train.
or on a train.
點解啲女仔唔夠膽出聲咧？即係呢
Why
樣嘢
those
肉酸啊
girls
嘛
just kept quiet was because it's
，embarrassing。
embarrassing.
Yes, it's embarrassing for them.
係啊，
嗰啲
對佢哋嚟
變態佬就係
講。
覺得你唔出聲，佢咪繼續咯。
So those guys would think, oh, since you're not saying anything, then I can continue doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah，
係咯
大同小其實都發生緊嘅。
But then here's the other
Big ones, small
conversation.
ones, all happening.
Correct. And then,
係啊
but here's the other thing.
但係有另外一樣嘢喎，
You see, it's now easy to judge that, and for us not to talk about what is going on with the person that is doing the touching, what is going on with that person, whether it's a male or a female.
嗱，而家我哋又可以又會咁樣睇啦
啊
嚇，就會去話哦嗰個摸人嗰個人點點點，
係。
It's easy to say that's a bad guy.
好容易就會講成話嗰個人係壞人，
衰人係啦。
Yes, so young, right? And is victimizing somebody.
然後令到人哋一個人變咗個受害者
But
咁
if
樣。
I have a healthy relationship with my body, my sexuality, the
但係
conversation about sexuality,
如果我對我自己嘅身體，我同我自己嘅身體同埋同性方面嘅嘢有一個好健康良好嘅關
I
係
have a
咧，
healthy relationship with this subject matter.
我同呢個題目本身有住一個健康嘅關係嘅話咧，
Why would I need to do that?
我為乜要去做埋嗰啲
So
咁嘅
my
事
question
喎
is,
係啊，
what
係啊。
created that person to molest the person?
所以我個問題反而係啲乜嘢去整到嗰個人會去侵犯人哋啊？
You see, it's not just to say this is the problem. Okay, this problem, the touching,
原始嘅問題。
molestation, harassing at the bus, at the MTR,
嗱，我哋
all
講
this
嘅話，譬如
touching
話
and
去摸人哋啊
Okay，
或者係去
係啊
巴士啊，或者係喺個地鐵度去非禮人哋啊，
Then
咁啊
we-
呢個一樣啊
we。can make them wrong,
我哋可以話呢啲人就錯
judge
啦，
them, and,
係啊。
然後對佢有一大堆嘅睇法，
but there's a problem.
咁呢個係一個問題啊。
係
We can blame
我哋可以咁樣去怨佢啦，
去針對呢個問題。
係啊。
bad guy, naughty boy,
係啊，衰人
係話佢衰人啊、曳啊咁啊。
but we didn't ask the other question.
但係我哋冇問到另外一個問題，
係
What created him to do that?
係啲乜嘢
係
導致到佢會咁做咧？
And people are getting more and more lonely,
而家啲人咧越嚟越孤獨寂寞，
and they don't know how to interact with people.
又唔識得同人相處互動
With
喎。
the advent of the internet and online dating,
因為而家又可以上網啦，
係啊
淨網上都可以同人拍拖咁嘅
係啦
you
啦
can，have on a camera sex,
仲可以對住鏡頭，又可以話有 sex 嘅咯喎啲
係啊
you
人
can have sex online,
online 都得
online
嘅
sex 係
喎，
啦
online sex, right? And with a person across over there.
又裸聊啊嘛，係嘛？
But there's no physical touching, there's no hello.
但係
Really?
冇真係掂到嗰個對方嘅喎，
It's socially retarded also.
即係所以喺社交上咧，就個人變得好遲鈍啦。
So now when I'm going out to start dating,
咁所以當我真係出去同人哋約會啦，
I don't know how to do this.
我唔知
OK
點做啊。
係
You see?
明白明白。Yeah.
So so that's why I'm saying the sexuality training, the first level of it anyway.
所以
The
我頭先就
introduction
講啦，sexuality 呢個訓練咧，即係講到初階啊嚇，第一階段，
Bringing up all the subject matters up.
將所有啲題目攤晒出嚟。
How can a masculine guy who said sex male, gender identity is very male. My sexual energy, very male driven. I shop like very male, muscular, macho,
一
alpha
個嗰
male.
啲大隻佬嚇，大嚿佬擺明㗎啦，好 man 㗎
肌肉
啦
男，嚇
係啦。
And then but my sexual orientation
但係我自己嘅性向咧，
could be female,
可以係女性嘅噃，
could be gay,
可以係基嘅喎。
係
right?
係
But I can also be male,
但係嗱，我亦都同時可以係男性，
but my gender identity or my sexual preference can still be towards female, straight.
我嘅性取向可能依然係，即係我依然係直嘅，
係，我
But
而
my
家
energy-
講女性嘅，係
But my
依然揀女
energy
性
and my
嘅
expression
但係我嘅能量咧，我去表達我自己嘅
could be
能量
feminine.
呢，可以係好女性化嘅喎。
係啊係啊，明
And then I
白
get teased,
然後我就俾人取笑啦，
like I'm a sissy boy.
話我好斯時啊乸型啦
乸。型
But I could have female gender identity or expression, but I could still be straight.
我可以係有嗰種好似好女性化嘅嘢啦，
表現係
表現都係咁啊。但係
我係
其實我係男人嚟嘅
我
喎，
係直嘅，
直嘅喎。
I'm just a soft guy.
我只不過係一個比較好温柔啲嘅男人啫
Now,
嘛。
in the bedroom,
嗱喺睡房入邊咧，
there's another conversation
又有另外一種嘅對話
on the
噃
bed
床上又有另外嘅對話嘅
because there's
噃，
something called polarity,
因為有一樣嘢叫 polarity 嘅，
OK，
okay, which is opposite poles,
就係喺兩極嗰度嘅，
like North Pole, South Pole.
好似南北極咁樣。
Okay,
OK，
magnetism.
磁石咁樣
係啦，
嚇，
So in the bedroom, in the love making process,
所以喺個房裏邊嚇，喺呢個做愛過程裏
there
邊
is
咧，
also an energy that is exchanged
又有一種能量嘅交換存在噶嘛，
係
of the masculine and feminine energy.
係男性同埋女性嘅能量嘅交換啊嘛。
OK，
So this exchange
而呢一個交換咧，
on the bedroom sometimes creates a problem
喺房間裏邊嘅呢一種交換咧，有時又又搞出問題喎。
when there's control and domination there,
因為有時有係啦控制啦，
or the image I think
又或者
我覺得
I'm a guy,
我認為
I'm supposed to
我
behave
係一
like
個
this
男
in
人嘅
bed.
形象嘅，所以喺床上我應該有咁樣嘅行為表現，
OK，
So and then I need to be like this, but I don't feel fulfilled.
所以我需要係咁樣先得。
Because
不過我
my-
自己又唔覺得滿足喎，
My feminine energy is not being handled.
因為我自己嘅女性化嘅能量冇被處理到嘛。
A
OK，
woman who can be really soft,
一個嗱好温柔嘅女人，
tender,
好温柔㗎，
all right? Maybe in the bedroom she likes to have the masculine role.
或者喺房間裏邊佢又想
一個
當
主動
擔多個
嘅角色
男人嘅角色㗎噃，
Okay? Now there's a conflict there
咁又有個衝突啦。
because of the gender identity, the sex identity,
因為嗱有嗰個性啦，即
同埋
係性
性別
別同埋性嘅取向嘅不同嘛。
OK，
and then there's orientation.
咁係有啲字都搞到亂晒龍啦，
There's also
又
can
會
be
出多個取向
preference.
出嚟，亦都仲可以有話我喜歡邊樣多啲都仲得喎。
哇，好複雜啊
Okay, so
Very complicated，
there's many layers.
好多
好多
層嘅嘢喺度啊。
And because we live in a world of labels,
因為我哋而家身處嘅呢個世界咧，
係標籤嘅
好多標籤㗎
we
嘛
want。to put everything in a box so we understand it.
我哋樣樣嘢都要切入去一個框框裏邊，等我哋可以明白。
OK，
right?
係啊。
So you're straight,
所以你係直嘅，
you're gay,
你係基嘅，
lesbian,
你係女同性戀，
係
and then there's something called bisexual.
然後又有樣叫做雙性戀咯喎。
係
But then the bisexual, every one of those three categories, the straights, the gays, and the lesbians, say those bisexuals haven't made up their mind yet. There's no such thing as
咁
bisexual.
但係另外嗰3個界別嘅人咧就係話，嗰個雙性戀嗰個人其實未搞清楚自己係邊樣
They
啫，
haven't made a
咁樣
decision.
冇雙性戀嘅佢哋未決定啫咁。
好多標籤。
Lots of labels。
Yes.
Hi.
And we want to fit it like that.
我哋想將啲嘢講到係咁樣啊。
And then you see,
Okay.
bisexual, there's also subcategories of bisexualism.
然後好啦，講到雙性戀，雙性戀裏邊仲要再細分喎。
There's something called pansexual
有一樣嘢叫 pansexual，
or polysexual
又有 polysexual，
or omnisexual.
仲有 omnisexual 喎。
These three are the subcategories of bisexual.
呢3樣咧都係雙性戀 bisexual 裏邊再細分出嚟。
Other
可以
names
用
of
用中
pansexual.
文去講一講呢3個 terms 啊，係。
So once we'll have to
Just
define.
explain it a
So for
little bit
example,
啦
Yeah.
a pansexual is someone who I'm in romantically in love with.
嗱 pansexual 嚇，
Now, it's a common understanding. It also means bisexual, but people don't understand what bisexual means.
好多人都會
係雙性戀啦
理解成係雙性戀，但係好多人其實係唔知道雙性戀係乜嘢嚟㗎嘛。
Because there's
Okay.
another layer here, right?
係啊
又打開咗另外一浸咯喎。
哈哈
So,
So pansexual
a
is
pansexual is someone who is emotionally attracted to, regardless of age. I can sleep with anybody. It's not about the body of the person. It is who the person is.
Okay.
pansexual 就係我可以同
任何人。
唔係講話唔係好關於嗰個人嘅
性別
年紀啊呢啲，對方對我嚟講係一個人嚟嘅啫。
I'm in
佢係一個咩
love
人？
with you.
我愛上你，
It doesn't matter what body parts you have.
你有啲乜嘢嘅
身體
身體嘅部位對我嚟講唔重要嘅，
OK。
Which is like bisexual.
就係似 bisexual 啦，
哦
雙
I
性
can
戀
love a
啦。
man, or I can have sex with a man, or I can have sex with a woman. I can have sex with both.
我可以同
I
一
can
個
have with both.
男人發生性關係，或者女人發生性關係，兩樣都得嘅。
即係在乎於佢係一個點嘅人。
So it depends on what kind of person.
Yes, a pansexual
That one
is a subcategory of bisexual. Is pansexual, which is
pansexual 係 bisexual 下邊嘅一個
其中一楷
其中一楷啦嚇。
I fall in love with who you are as a person.
我同你呢個人代入愛河
I like
啫
that.。
So it doesn't matter what you have between your legs. It doesn't matter if you are a male or female sex designation.
所以你雙腿之間存在嗰件嘢係乜嘢嚟嘅？對我嚟講係唔重要嘅。
OK，好。
Yeah, so
Pansexual。
you know,
Pansexual.
yes,
Pansexual.
OK，
Yeah.
pansexual。咁仲有一個 subcategory 咧？Another
So another way to call a pansexual, because there's so many distinctions here and it keeps changing over time, is because you're defining it.
因為而家都仲喺度界定緊啊嘛，所以一直以嚟就一路都有喺度變啊，喺度轉緊嘅，係啊。
So a bisexual is I can love a man or I can love a woman.
bisexual 就係我可以
I
愛
can
一個
love
男
both.
人，我又可以愛一個女人，兩者我都可以愛嘅。
OK。誒咁 bisexual 同埋頭先嗰個
Yeah,
pansexual
it sounds the same, right?
聽落去一樣啊，係咪？
係咯係咯。
Okay, so there are finer distinctions. It's going to open up a whole other door, and if I
仲
start
要
doing
再
some more,
仔
I
細
got to
去
define
區
other
分
things
㗎
too.，
又要再開多幾道門嚟睇我。
怪得要上堂啦。
So
Wonder we use the training。
yes, because there's so many categories.
因為有好多個類別喺度啊。
OK。
And then of course you've got the third sex, which is the Native Americans, and now even the Thai.
咁仲有第三性別啦。
Some of the old ancient cultures.
咁而家即係以印第安人啊，或者有一啲係一啲好古老嘅文化嚟
They
嘅，
have both. They have the yin and the yang together.
兩樣都有嘅，
係啊係
陰陽
一齊
並存。
You know, in those days, this term hermaphrodite no longer is applicable to be used politically correct term
呢
for.
個字啊 hermaphrodite，
Yes.
而家已經
There's no longer a politically correct term to use for people.
而家已經唔係一個可以用在人身上
We
嘅
call
字
it
眼。
intersex.
Call it
Intersex. INTERICX.
叫做
intersex.
intersex 啦，就好似兩性之間咁樣。
They have both body parts.
佢哋兩個性徵都有㗎，
OK。
Okay. They were born with both.
一出世已經係有。
Now, in ancient times, those are very special people.
喺古代咧，呢一啲咧係好特別嘅人類嚟嘅。
OK，我以前以為呢啲嘢淨係喺卡通出現嘅啫。
In the past, I thought this kind of things only happens in cartoons.
I don't know it really exists。
It does.
存在㗎。
好，其實我頭先都講咗好多，不過我都係想問咧，好，如果搞唔清楚自己個 sexuality 係咪，或者自己個 gender， 對一個人嘅影響係乜嘢咧？雖然頭先講咗好多。
Well.
因為其實係啊，我都認識好多男同性戀或者女同性戀嘅朋友嘅。
I do have a bunch of gay friends and lesbian friends.
咁你亦都好多識好多就係佢係直嘅朋友，但係其實頭先你有形容過嘅，咁俾人覺得古怪嘅人嚟嘅 ，strange considered.
Like you mentioned a bit earlier, they're straight, but they were considered strange or weird by other people.
咁係啦，咁其實佢呢個人佢最大嘅問題係啲乜嘢咧？如果出現
So what is the biggest issue about this
Whether they can be seen as normal.
到底佢可唔可以被別人睇成係正常？
You know, you see, some people can be actually gay or lesbian
你知嘛？有啲人可以
naturally.
真係 gay 或者係女同性戀嘅，係咁嘅，天生嘅。
But they resist it.
但係佢自己有抗拒喎。
OK，係啊係啊係啊。
Because of what society expects.
因為有某一啲嘅社會期望喺度啊嘛。
係啊。
Right? And judge.
同埋又有睇法啦、批判啦。
Okay, and the culture and the tradition.
仲有文化啦、傳統都影響住啦。
But it's in nature.
但係喺自然界裏邊係有呢啲嘢噶嘛。
You know, if we came from the same source.
我哋都係嚟自同一個根源噶嘛。
Okay, so in the animal kingdom, they are.
喺動物世界裏邊都有噶啦。
In animal species, they are gays and lesbians too, homosexual.
喺動物世界裏邊都有 gay 同埋 lesbians 噶嘛，同性戀嘅喎。
Yes.
係。
我今日突然間大開眼界。
So it's nature.
A lot of new stuff.
Okay.
所以喺
10 to
大自然裏邊
20%.
有㗎。
I mean, research has shown 10 to 20% of the people are other than heterosexual straight.
喺研究已經顯示咗啦，有10%至20%嘅人係喺即係異性戀以外嘅人嚟㗎。
So 80 is straight.
所以有80%嘅人係直嘅。
Okay, the 10 to the other 20%, some are all the different categories.
嗰10零個%嘅人咧，就係落咗喺呢所有其他嘅界別裏邊啊。
You've got gays and lesbians,
有男同性戀啦、
intersex.
女同性戀啦，
我啱就想問咧，有
intersex
冇一啲
啦。
你好記得嘅好 remarkable 嘅 case 咧，可以同大家分享一下㗎？
Ask you whether if you can remember any remarkable cases that you can share with us.
Well, some of the things that, for me, why I think this is an important conversation, there are several reasons why I talk about sexuality.
我之所以講到 sexuality 啦，其實有幾個原因。
One of it is the health part.
其中一樣就係關於嗰個健康嗰個方面。
Okay. Another one is self-actualization,
另外就係我自己點樣，
accepting yourself.
我點樣去接納我自己。
If I'm always being a human being and connecting with another human being.
因為作為一個人，我同另外一個人點樣去聯繫咧？
You know, there is this whole the health and wellness part of it.
嗱，又有
The
頭先
physical
講到
health and
即係
wellness.
身體健康嘅嗰一塊啊，
Okay, so there's the physical element part of the sexuality.
嗰個
Looking
係
after
講緊
yourself, the beliefs about your
喺
body.
性方面你如何去照顧好你自己嘅身體啊，講
I mean,
譬如癌症啊，
Boys don't even
點
know
樣去
that
照顧
there's
自己。
possibility of 4 types of cancers down there.
男士甚至唔知道其實喺下邊咧係有4種唔同嘅 cancer 嘅喎。
係
Yeah,
咩？
there's a penis cancer, there's testicle cancer, and then there's scrotum cancer, and then there is prostate cancer. Everyone talks about prostate cancer, we know about that.
個個就淨係講前列腺，
前列腺癌。
但係其實仲有好多嘅噃。其實你嘅陰莖都可以生癌嘅喎。
OK，好
Alright.
OK。
So there's the physical health side,
呢個就講到去即係真係
physical well-being, self-acceptance.
肉體嘅健康嗰個部分啦，
OK
同埋點樣如何接納自己啦，
Beyond just the biology.
而且唔係淨係講關於即係 生理上嘅嘢。
Okay? And then there's the other part, the self-expression part.
另外一個部分就係講到自我表達嗰份。
I've met people who are my students all around the world. I'm not going to say which country because as soon as I say which country, people will know.
咁我有啲學生啦嚇，咁我又唔會講佢哋嚟自邊個國家啦，我一講啲人就會知㗎啦。
I've had students who are married.
我有一啲嘅學生結咗
And
婚
then through
嘅，
the process of doing personal development work and self-recovery,
然後喺一個
finally
即係自我發掘嘅過程裏邊啦，
have the space to come out and say, I've been hiding that I'm gay.
終於有一個空間，佢可以講得到出嚟就話，其實我一路都係匿埋嘅啫，我係 gay 嘅，
Or I'm lesbian.
又或者我係 lesbian，
Or actually, I do not know.
又或者其實我係唔知嘅。
But I'm just fulfilling my obligation of my family. I get married and have kids.
但係因為我
But-
要滿足屋企嘅期望，所以我結婚生仔。
係啊，我都認識呢啲人。
Yeah, I know people like that。
I know plenty of people like this. And then so
我
much
識
of
好多呢
pain.
啲人，然後當中有莫大嘅痛苦喺度。
Because you see, if I'm gay and I get married and I play the straight role,
因為你知嘛，如果我係 gay 嘅，然後我走去結婚，我扮演一個直嘅角色，
and then I have an affair with another guy,
然後同另外一個男人搞出一段婚外情，
she finds out,
然後個老婆就發現啦喎，
oh my God, you cheated on me, not with another woman, with another man.
死啦！你背住我，唔係同另外一個女人搞埋啊，同個男人搞埋。
How dirty it is！
It's not about the dirty. It's about what now she feels like. How am I as a woman that I cannot be a woman
唔係
good
喎，
enough as a
係
woman?
而家個女人會覺得，我作為一個女人，我唔夠好啊！
You didn't cheat me on another woman. You cheated me on another
即係
man.
你唔係背住我去搞女人喎，你背住我去搞男人喎。
That's the first thing she'll think.
咁嗰個老婆第一樣會諗嘅，
She won't think.
佢唔會諗
Her
成，
first thought will not be,
佢第一個諗法就唔會係。
oh, now I know. Now finally know why he sucks in bed because he
我
likes
而家
guys.
終於
I'm
知道
okay.
點解佢床上功夫咁渣啦，因為原來佢中意男人㗎。啊，原來我 OK 嘅，
No，
They won't go down that tube.
唔會去嗰啲位
Which would be the
㗎。
best thing to look at. It's like, actually, that would be true, right? Wouldn't it be another point of
最好
view?
係咁睇啊嘛，即係就睇成原來有另外一啲嘢喎咁樣。
佢會覺得係自己嗰個否定。
She would
She will blame herself.
佢會怨
Feel
自己，
guilty. Did I create this?
佢會覺得內疚，佢會去
There's so
諗
many
係咪
things
我
that
搞出嚟嘅
I'm
？I'm not good
I'm not good
enough，
enough
我唔夠好。
Oh my goodness. My
死啦。
husband, just think of the headlines. My husband left me for another man.
你淨係諗下嗰句嘢，我老公為另外一個男人而離開我，
And I also know someone who's the other thing happened.
而我亦都識得一啲人嚇，另外一樣嘢喺佢身上發生，
Every one of his girlfriends
佢每一個女朋友
all became lesbians.
都變晒女同性戀，
And he's going to himself, he's like going, oh my God, what's going on with me?
然後
係啦
呢個男人自己就諗啦，死啦，我有乜唔妥
After
啊？
dating and being with this person
同呢個人
on my
拖
first marriage or my
喺
second
埋一齊
marriage,，
或者係第一段婚姻、第二段婚
and
姻，
all my other girlfriends after that,
然後我
every
之
one of
後嘅
them
所有嘅
became
女朋友
lesbians.
全部都變晒女同性戀喎。
I'll go down the tube call.
我一定會去咗一個
What kind
位，
of man must I be?
就係話我到底係一個乜
What
鬼嘅
kind
男
of
人
useless
嚟
man
㗎？
am I? Or what is wrong with me as a man?
我做咩咁鬼冇用啊？又或者作為一個男人
That，
我有咩
even if
唔
they're cheating
妥
on
啊？
me or they're going outside, they're going after a woman.
係啦，
縱使佢背住我喺出邊搞震，佢同個女人一齊喎。
但係佢可能係一個好大嘅貢獻者，俾佢揾到嗰個人個真正嘅。
But perhaps he is a big contributor。
And here's the other conversation.
又係另外一個對話出
So
咗嚟啦。
there's another one called by nature or by nurture.
嗱，另外仲有一個類，仲有又有咁樣講喎。有一啲咧係天生嘅，有一啲咧又培養出嚟嘅喎。
This is where the preference comes in, sexual
Okay.
preference.
頭先就講到啦，preference 啦，即係有啲喜歡唔喜歡喺裏邊嘅。
係啊
So there is the whole other conversation around I'm not naturally gay or lesbian,
所以又有另外一種嘅對話出現啦，就係話
我天生
我唔係天生，
but because of
Gay
certain
或者
events
lesbian.
that have happened,
但係因為有某一啲事情發生，
I decided to go down the other way.
當時我就決定行另外一條路。
我認識一啲咧基嘅人咧，
But this happens more with lesbians more than with gays.
但係呢一啲咧喺女同性戀身上咧就出現得多啲，多過男同性戀嘅。
咁我認識一個人咧，
I know a
咁佢
person.
本身係基嘅，
He's gay.
咁咧，然之後佢就係同一個女士最後結咗婚。
And he ended up marrying a woman.
咁但係我真係感覺到佢愛呢個女人嘅。
I could feel his love for this woman.
但係好多佢嘅基嘅朋友就好當佢係叛徒咁樣，即係對佢喺
think
網
he's a
上邊咧鬧到咧，即係佢直情鬧得好緊要。
Scolded him like crazy on the web.
咁我覺得佢真係，其實我幾祝福佢呢一段關係嘅。即係 no
I'm
matter
sending my blessing to his relationship, to this relationship.
no matter 佢係 cheating 或者唔係 cheating 都好啦嚇。因
Whether
為
if he's cheating or not.
咁但係我覺得嗰啲基嘅朋友覺得佢一個叛徒。
But his gay friends all think he's a traitor.
其實呢個係咪都係一樣嘢需要去 train 一啲本身佢已經係或者係 gay 嘅 group 或者係 lesbian group 嘅一啲佢哋自己創造咗個 culture。
I don't understand it in
Okay,
Chinese either.
is
我哋
it-
中文都唔係好明。
Okay, even is it this group, gay group or lesbian group, they create some culture themselves.
Of course, there is a culture within.
咁
Yes.
當中當然係有一啲嘅文化存在啦。
某程度上佢對
And here's the other problem.
嗱，又嚟另外一個問題，
Because it's also not talked about.
因為冇擺上台講過嘛。
係啊，
Everyone thinks, yes, that's a, be a normal thing. You're a traitor.
咁咪個個都覺得正常啊，你仲唔係叛徒？
Natural.
自然會咁諗嘅喎。
係啊，係啊。
But is it? It's not. Because how much do they really understand?
係咪真係嘅咧？又唔係喎，因為
This-
到底佢了解咗幾多？
In the modern world right now, everything is being redefined, expanded, and opened up.
喺呢個現今世代，所有嘢咧都被打開嚟，然後重新界定過。
I mean, I can imagine myself having a conversation about this in Hong Kong.
我都唔可以想像我自己而家喺香港同你講緊呢一番咁嘅説
I've
話。
run sexuality trainings in Taiwan.
我喺台灣有做過 sexuality 嘅訓練。
可唔可以同我哋分享下嗰個效果或者係咩咧？
Can
可以
you share
anything。
with us anything about it, the effect or anything?
Here's the one thing that I do know. Everyone who's done the first workshop,
嗱，有一樣嘢我知道嘅係，所
they
有
want all of their partners
上完第
to do the
一
next
個
one.
工作坊嘅人咧，佢哋個個都想自己嘅伴侶去上下一班。
OK。
You know, it's like they have to go now. They have to go.
佢哋個個就喺度講緊，而家我身邊嗰個一定要去啊！
Is there a level 2 that we can do together?
然後仲有冇個即係 level 2啊？第二階段我哋可以一齊去。
I tell them to go to India to learn all that.
我就叫佢哋，你哋去印度學啦。
哎呦。
Yeah, because what's interesting coming out of all of the basic sexuality training,
所以
the
即係好
level,
有趣嘅
the basic one.
喺個最基本嘅
Now
sexuality
everybody
training
wants to
之後
talk about
出現，
everything and put it on the table now.
就係所有人而家都願意將所有嘅嘢攤晒上台面嚟講，
Because sexual energy is very powerful.
因為其實性能量係好有力嘅，
You
係
know, it's orange and red. You know, survival and
係啊
係橙同埋紅色噶嘛，
同埋某一
係
啲
求
New Age 嘅
存嘅。
terms 咧，性咧，
Some new age terms.
佢係一種叫做
Sex is
良性攻擊力啊，良性
positive. It's
攻擊力
a positive attacking power. Something like that.
嚇，something like that，良性嘅攻擊力。咁係譬如種子扮出嚟開花，咁呢個係叫良性攻擊力。即係有啲人講緊攻擊力係唔好嘅嘢嚟㗎嘛。
When a flower blooms,
Mhm.
it's positive,
Mhm.
and it's sort of like
There's a lot of powerful energy.
當中
係啊
係有好多好有
Extremely
力嘅
powerful
能
energy,
量
and if we
喺
know how to use it, I'm not
非
talking
常有力
about。just having sex. I'm not talking about
係啊，
just
係啊。
having
我唔
sex.
係講緊淨係純粹話佢有性愛，
係
Even sex with self, you can have it powerfully too.
就算同自己之間嘅性愛都可以係好有力嘅
But
噃。
people are not even enjoying that.
但係啲人連呢樣嘢都唔享受啊！
OK。
Yeah, because they look at porn and then it's just a natural reaction and then it's boom, over and done with.
因為佢哋睇住啲四仔五仔，跟住就出一個自然反應，跟住嘭聲搞掂咗，
And then the game is over in 2 minutes.
都唔使2分鐘就 game over 啦。
You know what I mean?
你知唔知我啱諗嘅一樣嘢咧？
You know, I just
就係咧，
thought of something.
我要將呢條片擺上去 YouTube 㗎嘛。
You know, I gotta put this film onto YouTube.
咁我喺度諗緊，我喺嗰個 description 使唔使講咧？就要將小朋友趕開咗，先至睇呢條片。
I was thinking, do I need to tell them to ask the kids to go away before they can actually watch this film?
No, I think if parents were more willing to sit down with their children
我諗父母如果係更加願意同啲細路坐低啊，
and make this their responsibility,
睇成呢啲係自己嘅責任，
and have a great conversation with their kids
同佢哋
about
好
this,
好咁樣
half
去
the
傾下
problems
呢一樣嘢
will
嘅
be
話
gone.
咧，半數嘅問題會冇咗嘅。
係
But the
啊
parents
係啊
think
係
it's the school's job.
但係父母就認為呢啲係要學校搞，
The school's
係
job thinks it's the parents' job.
學校就諗住父母會搞。
And in school, they just want to go through over biology and go, thank you for sharing, and that's it. Like, here's the 2 chapters,
而學校咧就淨係想教性教育課嘅啫
A,
嘛。嗱
B,
呢度
C,
有兩
D,
課
and。whatever diagrams. Okay, this goes there, that goes
睇住個
here.
圖就算
嗱 A、B、C、
That's
D
it.
啊嚇，跟住俾幾幅圖你睇咁樣，就係
教咗
咁先啦。
啦，教咗啦。
Done
Done.
搞掂。
And when you're in Form 4 and Form 5, you're so excited. Oh, we're going to study that.
你去
And
到
then
中
we're
四、
like,
中五啦，諗住好興奮啦，考學
That's
啲
it.
嘢，然後去到嘅時候就
講完啦
2 hours in the whole year. That's
成年
it. 2 chapters.
得兩個鐘咋，兩科咋，
That's all you're going to talk to us about?
係同我哋講咁多咋。
And well, that was like for me in my country, it was over in like 45 minutes. 2
Your
45-minute
國家
sessions. That's it.
45分鐘
Male, female
兩節就已經完添啦。
我哋以前咧係啲女仔留喺嗰個禮堂入邊，
We kept the girls in the hall,
咁啊男仔就上課室，
and the boys would go up to the classroom,
咁就俾幾個鐘頭嘅 briefing。
and they would brief you for a few hours.
That's all，
係咁多啦。
就係你點樣保護你自己嘅身體
It's about how do you protect your own body.
嚇，咁啊唔好俾男仔掂你咁
Don't let boys touch you.
things like that 咁啊，咁我哋嗰陣時係啦，你都有印象。
Maybe you need to come and tell me what you guys did learn here so that I can, when I do the workshop here in Hong Kong, I can see, what I have to add. Based on talking to you before, I know I have a lot of
What
things
did
to
we
add.
learn? You mean
What did you
back
actually
then?
learn? Yeah.
You mean back then?
What are they learning now in school?
咁所以佢話叫我哋記得話俾佢聽，其實學校裏邊嗰啲性教育係點樣嘅喎？等佢去準備佢呢一個訓練嘅時候咧，可以有啲嘢要加翻落去嘅咁。
所以咧嗱，如果你睇緊呢條片嘅話咧，咁你咧可以咧叫埋你嘅細路哥嚟咧，去真正如果你 ready 好啊，咁咧就叫埋你細路哥一齊，或者甚至叫埋你老公一齊咧，係啊，或者老婆一齊咧，去睇一睇呢條片嚇，因為呢個 topics 雖然係即係好似好尷尬，不過即係一個值得面對嘅一個 topic 嚟嘅，係啦。咁但係咧，即係雖然好似問來問去、調來調去咁問，但係我都想大家有一個即係整合咁樣去。就係我想問係，
Although I seem to be asking the same question all the time.
That's fine.
但係我想知係透過呢個課程嗰陣時，佢最大帶俾人嘅價值係啲乜嘢？
Through this training, what is the biggest value that this training can bring to people?
For me, what I found out that the biggest value is the ability for now people
對
to
我自己嚟
have
講啊，我發現最大嘅價值咧就係
what they think and what they feel about this topic. They're going to realize they are not alone.
最大嘅價值就係啲人會發現到一直以嚟佢對呢一個話題嘅諗法啦，同埋感覺咧，原來唔係淨係得自己係咁。
Firstly, one of the value is I'm not alone.
首先，其中一樣價值就係發現原來唔係淨係得我自己一個。
我唔係孤獨嘅。
The things that I think,
我諗嘅嗰啲嘢，
what I imagine, my fantasies,
我想像嘅
or
嗰啲
even my
嘢，我嗰
fetishes,
啲幻想嚇，甚至我嗰啲嘅
or what I
癖好，
think sometimes.
嗰啲
又或者
耳目啊
一，啲我有時諗嘅嘢。
Oh my goodness, I'm not alone.
救命啊！原來
唔係淨係
我唔係
我咁啊。
孤單一個，唔係淨係得我一個係咁。
The concerns I have,
我一直有嘅擔
my
心，
fears.
我所有嘅嗰啲恐懼
Oh my goodness, everybody has them.
吓？乜原來個個都有嘅。
What I think I know,
我
and what I don't know.
我諗住自己知同埋唔知嘅嗰啲
Oh my goodness, I just found out I do not know so much.
係咯，
嚇，我啱先發現原來有咁多嘢我唔知，
And I'm not alone.
同埋唔係淨係得我有咁多嘢唔知。
我諗睇呢條片嘅人咧，90%都唔知啊。
People watching this film, 90% of them do not know.
Yeah, like and one of the feedback I've got. I mean, some of my students, some are like older women, like 40 some. Not
我有
old,
一啲
older.
我有一
40,
啲嘅
50.
學生啦嚇，唔係老啊，佢哋係即係年紀比較大啲，40零啊、
50-some
50零啊咁
You're
嗰
a
啲啦
woman, married,
結咗婚嘅，
kids have left the house,
啲細路都
She and
已經
husband.
長大，離開咗屋企添啊，得翻佢同老公。
and when she did this program,
咁當佢進行即係呢個訓練嘅時候咧，
she had revealed that she had never had a multiple orgasm in her life.
佢披露出就係話，原來呢一世人佢都未曾試過多重嘅性高潮。
She's almost 50 years old. She's never had a multiple orgasm. She didn't even know
差唔多
whether it's
50歲人
possible
啦。
or what that was.
佢從來未試過，佢甚至唔知道係唔係有可能。 嗰樣嘢係乜佢都未知。
And so after the training,
咁個訓練之後咧，
I'm not gonna spoil the fun.
嗱我而家唔會搞到即係講晒啲嘢出嚟，到時又唔好玩㗎啦。
And she had one.
個訓練之後咧，
Her first
佢
one
就
in
佢就
the
體
training.
驗到佢嘅第一次喎。
And with her husband, and both of them have discovered new things.
係佢同佢老公兩個人都發現到啲新嘢喎。
OK，
Because now they're staring at each other because their kids have left their home and they just left, and they do. What do we do with each other now? We've been playing mom and dad for so long.
因為事情係佢哋已經扮演咗父母嘅角色咁耐，啲細路啱啱離開屋企啊嘛，咁而
Now
家
we
點
have
算
to
咧？
look
得
at
翻
each other, and now we are man and woman again, husband and wife again. We are now more mother father.
我哋已經再唔係話要
爸爸媽媽啦
時刻扮演個父母嘅角色，而家我哋變翻男人同女人，而家得翻你眼望我眼咁喎。
Oh my goodness, what's going to do with each other?
咁點算啊？點對住對方？
I'm spending all my time with you now, just about you and me and me. It's like, oh my gosh.
真係要同你共度餘生喎，得翻你同我，我同你喎。
We've given up that role for 24 years, 25, 30 years maybe.
嗰個我哋一直扮演咗可能23、45年嘅角色，而家突然之間
阿仔爸爸
放低
阿仔媽媽
咗。
嗰個
Yeah.
The mom and the dad。
Yeah, the
Yeah.
mom and dad role now is no longer evident.
個媽媽爸爸嘅角色已經而家冇咗啦
Kids are
嘛
not。there.
個細路都已經唔喺屋企咯。
唔使啦
Right. So when she shared with me, I mean like and now she's looking at me going, I'm looking forward to my kids not being around anymore.
咁而家呢個太太同我分享嘅時候咧，就係話我都唔知幾期
My
望啲細
husband
路
and
再
I,
一次唔
we
喺
have found
度。
new things.
我同我老公發現咗啲新嘢。
OK，
So now you need to make sure we have another one of these trainings so my husband can come and do it.
佢話：咁你而家要確保你有另外多一個咁嘅訓練啊！我下一次叫我老公嚟
But。even if he doesn't,
不過
if
就
there is
算
level 2, I want to do it right now.
就算冇第二
He's
個訓練
saying,
都好，
go for it.
有 level 2嘅話，佢話我自己都去，因為我老公都話你去啦咁話。
OK，明白。
And she was in tears. She was joyful.
而當時佢真係流住喜悅嘅眼
She
淚啊！
was in tears. Her entire sharing blew the entire class away. It
Could-
blew me away.
佢整個分享真係觸動到全班嘅
I
同
was
學，
in tears
我
for her
自己都
too.
俾感動到喊。
She was crying. Says, I never knew.
佢喺度喊，佢話我以前從來都唔知。
The female orgasm, the multiple female orgasm or the female orgasm is a very powerful thing for a woman.
女性嘅高潮或者女性嘅性高潮啊，女性高潮本身對一個女人嚟講係一件好有力嘅事情，
And there are several types too.
而且仲有好幾種添嘅喎，
There is the vaginal orgasm,
有係陰道㗎啦，
there
引
is
發
the
㗎啦，
clitoral orgasm,
有陰核引發㗎
there's
啦，
also a very rare called nipple orgasm,
有啲好少嘅就係乳頭啦，
and there's also the cervical orgasm.
同埋cervical
Cervical,
係
in-
你
is inside.
淨係你裏邊個盆腔啊，你都
And there's a different experience.
都有唔同嘅體驗喎。
Okay, and the woman experiences herself very differently when she has a multiple orgasm and it's full multiple orgasm.
而當一個女人即係佢出現呢一種咁樣嘅性高潮嘅時候咧，佢對佢自己有個好唔同嘅體驗
And
㗎
it's a woman's right to have one of those in her lifetime.
因為係完完全全㗎嘛。
And
咁
if
而
you
且呢個
have
係一個女人嘅權利，呢一世人可以有呢啲嘢。
The energy centers for a woman, when she has one of those, it can last a week in terms of the glow,
而
the
當佢
joy, the
有
fullness,
呢
the
一樣嘢嘅
courage.
時候咧，就一個女人能量中心嚟講咧，可以維持成個禮拜佢嘅人都神采飛揚，
And it keeps her healthy.
亦都令到佢嘅人好健康。
當我哋 entitle 一個女人嘅身體或者男人嘅身體，而冇好享用呢個身體嘅時候，
Entitled to a female or a male body and we did not really enjoy it。
Yes. And even the guys don't know how to have a full
就算男士都係啊，佢哋唔識得
expression of their orgasm too.
如何完完全全地表達佢自己嘅高潮。
You know, because we don't talk about these things. People don't know.
因為我
So
哋
the
唔會講啊嘛，
value
啲人都唔知。
of learning this is like sexuality in terms of the mind,
所
the
以
body,
個價值所在就係
the act of love making, the art of love making, the joy of it.
身體啦，同埋你嘅思想啦，同埋即係你去做愛嘅嗰種嘅藝術啦，同
And
埋
once
喜悅啦。
we bring out all the topics,
我哋一旦將
talk about
所有
all
嘅
of this
題
and
目
we have a
都
great
講得到，都講到
conversations,
嘅時候，
exchange of ideas.
好好去傾下，大家交換
People
一
look up
啲嘅
and
諗
go,
法啦。
they feel better about themselves too.
咁啲人覺得自己都會覺得感覺良好啲。
I mean, some of the divorce, a lot of people complain in the divorce.
好多陣時離婚，啲人離婚
People
投
divorce
訴
because communication, lack of communication.
係啊，
係話缺少溝通啊，
係啊，
Sex, bad sex. No sex, bad
Right.
sex.
冇性愛或者性愛唔好啦，
Money.
錢
因為唔係錢。
If you have this too, money is not a problem, you know.
如果你有頭嗰兩樣，錢唔係問題嘅，
其實咧
你知嘛？，
我真係留意到咧。
If all three don't have, big problem.
三樣都冇
No
咧
reason to stay in a
就大
relationship.
問題啦，真係唔使
We
留
don't
一段關係
communicate.
都
We don't
得。
have great sex.
又唔溝通，性又唔
And
掂，
we are broke.
仲要冇晒錢，
Forget it. This relationship is over.
咁呢段關係真係算把啦。
OK，即係咧嚇，即係發覺咧神神秘秘咧過咗100集咧，差唔多有100集咧，呢一集咧係最 check 攞嘅
This one is most raw。
咁啊，咁然之後就我希望大家唔好當呢一集係好色情，但係咧真係我認識
You don't like color this。
咁樣咧，但係我認識好多 couples 咧，好多夫妻咧喺佢結婚走咗10年到啦，咁佢哋係完全冇性呢一樣嘢，或者仔女大咗之後咧，佢哋直接 even 分房瞓啊。
Sex is non-existent in their relationship。
Which is sad.
係啊，咁實在係好普遍嘅呢樣嘢，so
It's very
common。
common。
And it's sad.
而
Yeah，
係
佢係同屋主嚟嘅，佢哋只係。
And look
都
at
幾難過嘅一件事。
and look at your
They became roommates
Yeah.
or housemates。
and look at the Durex International Survey and look at where Hong Kong is in terms of
咁你又睇下杜蕾斯做咗個國際性嘅調查啦。
and see where Hong Kong is
你
located.
睇下香港排到
It's
喺
like one
咩
of the lowest
位啊？
countries.
係其中一個即係
terms
排到好後嘅
of
地方嚟嘅。
係啊
就性嚟講排到好後。
And people get it's anger, a lot of anger issues, incomplete issues come up.
裏邊有好多嘅憤怒啊，或者啲嘢咧
Loneliness
唔完整啊，或者係孤獨啊，
You get older faster.
同埋個人會蒼老得快啲。
呢個好重要喎呢樣嘢。
This is very
Sex is
important.
healthy.
性係健康㗎嘛。
OK，係啊
We。need, and the most important is a healthy conversation about this.
最重要嘅係對佢要有一種健康嘅對話。
OK，明白。好啦，
You know, if girls have conversations, two girls have conversations,
如果兩
they
個
have
女
to
孩
be
子喺度
careful.
傾咧，
If I might say this or say that,
佢哋又要
I might speak badly about my
小
husband.
心
I
啲
better
啦，會唔會咁
not.
樣講咗？會唔會咁樣講咗？會唔會咁樣講咗老公嘅壞話啊？都係唔好講
Shame
啊！
my husband.
咁樣搞到老公冇
Then
面，
you might judge me.
一陣間你又可能對我
So
有
I have to
睇
pretend
法
to。be happy with another woman.
所以
Because
當
there's
我對住
competition
另外一個
going
女人嘅時候咧，我又要扮到自己好 happy 咁咯喎，因為當中其實有一種某種鬥爭存在㗎嘛。
係
And then two guys,
然後兩個男人咯喎，
they're just all like, oh.
就係咁樣嘅啫，
They don't actually talk. They go, oh.
甚至唔講嘢添嘅，淨係咁嘅啫。
跟住問啊，大家係啦，死到 OK。
Where's the communication?
溝通乜鬼啫？
Where do we actually learn?
我哋真係喺邊度去學習
係
咧
啦，或者男仔大家睇一套三級片啊，咁大家就
？Boys get together and watch a porn
Yeah.
movie
係咯，咁然之後就可能去笑一餐啊。
and then
Becomes a joke,
laugh their
yes.
head off 係啊，變咗開玩笑。
And then go home by themselves and feel lonely.
然後就自己一個翻屋企，
That I
然後
might
覺
have
得
a
自己好寂
problem
寞，
and I don't talk about it.
然後就覺得自己可能係有問題啊，又唔宣諸於口嘅喎。
Everything is compared to the perfect illusion of porn.
然後將所有嘢都同嗰個4仔5仔裏邊嘅完美嘅幻覺去比
The
較，
perfect bodies,
完美嘅軀體啊，
the perfect sizes,
完美嘅 size 喎。
the perfect length of time,
完美嘅即係嗰個
長度
時間
有
嘅
幾耐啦，有幾耐啦。
yes, the perfect amount of cum.
仲要嚟幾多次都係完美嘅。
OK，
You know, everything is, and then, you know, they'll, is it possible that a woman can spray like that?
然後佢哋又諗啦，一個女人係咪真係可以咁樣噴射出嚟㗎？
Is that real? Does
係
it
咪真
happen?
㗎？
噴射
係咪真係有發生㗎？
Do they also come? Do women come?
男人女人都有嚟嘅咩？有嘅咩？
So many
Okay.
questions.
好多個問題。
OK，好啦，咁個課程會係幾長嘅？即係你頭先提過初階啦，仲有
Just
或
now
者
you mentioned the basic training.
Huh.
So how long or the
how to set up 即係
The duration of the
yeah,
training.
Okay, it will be over 4 days.
係4日嘅。
there'll be a Thursday evening,
係星期四嘅
Friday
夜晚
evening,
星期五夜晚、
Saturday whole day,
星期六全
Sunday
日
like also the whole day. But
同埋星期日又
we
係全
end
日
early
嘅。
enough for people
但
to go and have dinner and be with people.
星
in
期
their
日
lives.
就會早少完，等啲人可以即係同人食晚飯啊咁咯。
哦，OK。
So yeah.
佢嗰係 basic 係咪？
This is
Yeah.
the basic level。
哦，OK。咁如果basic 再去到 advanced 就會更加長。
咁 then from basic to the advanced is
Right now, I don't want to talk about the advanced level yet until we have enough people who really
現
want the
階段我
advanced
哋唔
level.
講到 advanced 嗰個
I'll just
係啊，係啊，
recommend
係啊。
people to go to
直至到
go to India.
有足夠嘅
Go learn
人數可以去到嗰啲位先啦。而家我就係建議啲人去印度啦，你去印度學習
What I
啦。
offer right now, because people want more information after that,
目前我提供到啊嚇，因
and they
為
want to learn some more.
因為初階之後咧，其實啲人係想學。
After the basic level, people really want to know. Okay, now I'm open to have the conversation. Can you teach me how to have a blowjob?
喺個基礎訓練之後咧，有時啲女仔就會問我：而家我有一個即係有咗個
Where do I
認識嘅，
learn? How do I learn
你
this?
可唔可以教我點樣去進行呢個口交啊？啲人想
Oral
學啊
sex.。
Yeah。
Can you teach us how to support each our? Can you? Now we want to know the how to. Now we're really open to talk about everything.
而家因為
Now we
開
want to
放可
learn
以講任何
skill.
嘢
Where
啦
do we
嘛，
go to learn
啲人就
skill?
會講到去技巧啦。我哋想學啲技巧性嘅嘢，去邊度學啊咁啊？
That's why now I just said, okay, go to India, go to
咁我
Kama
就話
Sutra school.
你去印度啦，去
You know,
Kama
there
Sutra
are
嗰啲學校
specific sex, that kind of sex training.
有嘅，佢哋有嗰種
我知道，
嘅
係啊，
性嘅訓練
係啊，係啊。
嘅。
So I normally refer them, but I usually sometimes have interview sessions, private sessions with students after the training.
通常我會叫佢哋咁做，但係訓練之後咧，有時我都會同啲同學會單對
They
單
sign up
嘅。
and they pay and
係啦。
they pay a consultant charge for that
會
one.
諮詢㗎啦。
They
咁
pay
佢
for
哋
an
有
hourly
個別嘅諮
basis.
詢。
另外就係做個別諮詢咁樣咯。
OK。
Yeah.
明白。
So they want to come in with your friend. They want to buy time.
佢哋想同個
Personal
朋友一
time
齊嚟啊咁樣咧，咁佢哋可以自己去
Like a husband and wife, they want to buy some
訂佢自
time,
己
1 hour
諮詢
to
嘅
talk
時間
about。one specific thing.
譬如話丈夫太太
Or
一
learn
齊
one
嚟用一個鐘
specific
頭
together，
真係淨係去講某一個題目，或者係
OK
一齊去學某一啲嘢咁。
其實我相信而家有好多呢啲咁嘅需要，即係
I think there are a lot of this kind of needs。
係啊，無論你係直啊，或者係攣
Whether
啊
you're，straight or
或者係你本身係已經係一個
Absolutely
係 couple 啊，
or whether if you are already
或者你喺關係入邊不斷出現咗呢嘅問題
or
啊
in your relationship you kept having
，repeated problems 嗰啲。
Yes.
repeated
係啊，咁我覺得就呢個需要。好啦，咁如果係要想知道多啲呢啲 information 嘅話，咁
So,
喺邊度可以揾到呢啲
If people
information
want to obtain more information, where can they obtain it?
Well, just look at the
就
space below here.
咁啊睇下呢度
and
嗱，咁我哋呢度就
啦。
係啦，
all
我
the
哋
information
我
should
哋
be
一
there
間
to who to
而家我哋呢度
contact.
冇嘅，但係我哋你哋喺呢個睇嘅片嘅時候會見到前面
Because
有
now
一
there's
個
a table over here.
有
But
一
it's
個 link 嘅。
Yeah, there'll be a link there.
一條 link 喺度，或者有個 contact 喺度嘅，咁我哋到時就會即係大家可以知道得多啲咁樣。咁即係首先好多謝嚇，真係好多謝。我自己都學咗好多嘢咁樣。
Thank you. I've learned a lot.
咁你咧就再一次咧，即係呢一集咧係一個好特別嘅神神秘秘嘅一集嚟嘅。
This episode is a
係
very
我
special
我哋好我哋都好少 bring 去到呢個 topic，所以去呢個
episode.
我亦都
This topic.
希望大家用一個好正面嘅態度去睇我哋今日提及嘅嘢。Even though 我哋有好多嘅字眼都好似好大膽嘅今一集嚇，咁但係我希望呢一集真係會即係貢獻到俾大家，大家用一個好正面嘅態度去睇呢一樣嘢嚇，而事實上我哋真係，如果我哋個排行係咁厚啊，我哋呢個社會亦都有呢個需要嚇，或者頭先好似阿德講咧，好多罪案啊，或者好多家庭問題係唔可以處理或者可以防止嘅嚇，咁我係啦，我哋呢一集就去到呢度為止嚇，我哋再一次多謝阿德，亦都要多謝阿葉安嘅呢個嘅翻譯嘅，多謝大家。
Thank you for